Hello, and welcome back to the channel. It's your host from Silver Studio, and I am so glad you could join me today. Growing up in South Africa, I always found it funny how people outside the continent pictured Africa. You know, lions roaming the streets, everyone living in a hut. It's a very specific and very wrong image. The reality is a continent buzzing with innovation, culture, and yes, some serious economic power. It's a place of immense diversity, from the bustling markets of Lagos to the tech hubs in Nairobi, and the story of its wealth is far more complex and fascinating than most people think. So today, we're going to dive deep into that story. We're counting down the top 20 richest countries in Africa based on their projected gross domestic product, or GDP, for 2025. This isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about the people, the industries, and the resources that are driving this incredible growth. We're going to unpack what makes each of these economies tick, and trust me, there are some genuine surprises in here. Before we jump into this epic countdown, if you enjoy content that explores the world in a new light, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and ringing that notification bell. All right, enough talk. Are you ready? Let's get this journey started and find out who's at the top of the list. Kicking off our list at number 20 is the beautiful nation of Uganda. Often called the Pearl of Africa for its stunning landscapes, from the misty Bwindi impenetrable forest to the shores of Lake Victoria, Uganda's economy has traditionally been rooted in its fertile soil. We're talking about coffee, tea, cotton, and tobacco being major exports. The discovery of significant oil reserves in the Lake Albert Basin is expected to inject billions into the economy. Coming in at number 19, we have Zambia, a nation whose economic identity has been forged in the copper belt. For decades, copper has been the lifeblood of the Zambian economy. The fluctuating price of copper on the global market can literally make or break the country's budget. This heavy reliance on a single commodity is something the Zambian government is actively trying to change. It's home to the majestic Victoria Falls, one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. At number 18, we land in the vibrant West African nation of Senegal. Its capital, Dakar, is home to one of the busiest ports in West Africa. This isn't an economy built just on pulling things out of the ground. It's about providing services, moving goods, and connecting people. Senegal has been a pioneer in mobile money in the region, revolutionizing how people transact business. Recent discoveries of large offshore oil and gas fields are set to transform the economy. Our number 17 spot takes us to Botswana. At independence in 1966, it was one of the poorest countries in the world. Then they discovered diamonds, some of the richest diamond mines on the planet. This discovery, combined with good governance and prudent management, really transformed the nation. The partnership with De Beers, known as Debswana, is a cornerstone of the economy. However, Botswana's leaders know diamonds are not forever, actively pursuing tourism and financial services. At number 16, we have a country that is both powerful and complex, Libya. When you talk about wealth in Libya, one word dominates: oil. The country sits on the largest proven crude oil reserves in all of Africa. On paper, Libya should be one of the wealthiest nations on the continent, easily ranking much higher on this list. The quality is high, it's cheap to extract, and its proximity to European markets is a major strategic advantage. However, political instability and conflict have severely hampered the country's ability to capitalize on its immense oil wealth. The hope is that with lasting peace and stability, Libya can rebuild and fully harness its oil reserves. Making its way onto the list at number 15 is the North African nation of Tunisia. While it may not have vast oil reserves like its neighbors, Tunisia has built one of the most diversified economies in the region. The manufacturing sector is particularly important. Tunisia is a key supplier for European markets, producing textiles, car parts, and electronics. And of course, there's tourism. Mediterranean beaches, ancient Carthaginian ruins, even Star Wars film sets in the desert. At number 14, we arrive in Cameroon, often described as Africa in miniature because it boasts all major climates and vegetation zones. This diversity shows up in the economy, one of the most varied in Central Africa. Cameroon is a significant producer of cocoa, coffee, cotton, bananas, and rubber. Douala's port is a trade gateway for landlocked neighbors like Chad and the Central African Republic. Now we come to number 13, a country that represents one of the great paradoxes of the world, the Democratic Republic of Congo. The sheer scale of its mineral wealth is almost impossible to comprehend. Copper, gold, diamonds, and over 70% of the world's cobalt supply. Cobalt is essential in batteries. Your phone, your laptop, your electric car, they all link back here. But decades of conflict and exploitation have meant this immense wealth has not translated into prosperity for its people. The future depends on turning mineral wealth into human wealth. At number 12, Ivory Coast, the undisputed king of cocoa, the world's largest producer. Instead of exporting raw beans, they're processing them into cocoa butter, powder, and finished chocolate. Just missing our top 10 at number 11 is Sudan. After losing oil wealth, the new focus is agriculture, a potential breadbasket for the Arab world and Africa. Cracking our top 10, at number 10, is the East African giant, Tanzania. This is a country blessed with an almost embarrassing amount of riches. Economically, it's a powerhouse built on natural resources, tourism, and trade. Tanzania has significant mineral wealth, most notably gold, diamonds, and tanzanite, found nowhere else on Earth. Then there's tourism. The Serengeti, Mount Kilimanjaro, the Ngorongoro crater, and the Spice Islands of Zanzibar. Combined with the bustling port of Dar es Salaam, Tanzania has a powerful multifaceted economic engine. In the number 9 spot is Ghana, known for its stable democracy, vibrant culture, and nickname, the Gold Coast. Ghana is Africa's largest gold producer, having recently overtaken South Africa. Like its neighbor Ivory Coast, it's also a world leader in cocoa production, ranking second globally. The discovery of offshore oil in the Jubilee Field has provided a new revenue stream. Ghana is truly living up to its black star symbol of African pride and potential. Coming in at number 8 is Angola, a major economic player in southern Africa. For Angola, the story is overwhelmingly oil. One of the top 2 oil producers in sub-Saharan Africa, constantly vying with Nigeria. This oil wealth fueled rapid reconstruction and gleaming Luanda skyline, but makes the economy a roller coaster. Recognizing this vulnerability, the government is making efforts to diversify into agriculture, diamonds, tourism, and manufacturing. Our number 7 spot goes to Kenya, the undisputed economic, financial, and transport hub of East Africa. Kenya's strength is diversity and a highly developed services sector. Kenya pioneered mobile money with M-Pesa, revolutionizing banking for millions. That innovation earned Nairobi the nickname Silicon Savannah. Agriculture remains vital: tea, coffee, and fresh flowers, especially roses for export. Tourism around the Masai Mara and Great Migration, plus the port of Mombasa serving East and Central Africa, cements Kenya as a critical economic leader. At number 6, we have Ethiopia, a country on an absolutely astonishing economic journey, consistently posting some of the highest GDP growth rates on the planet. The engine of transformation has been huge infrastructure investment: new railways, highways, and industrial parks. The centerpiece is the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam on the Blue Nile. Once operational, it will more than double electricity generation capacity. While coffee remains important, Ethiopia is its birthplace. The goal is transitioning to an industrial powerhouse, particularly in textiles and garments. Ethiopia's sheer scale and ambition make it a giant of the African economy. We've reached our top 5, and at number 5 is the Kingdom of Morocco, strategically located at the crossroads of Europe and Africa, with coasts on both the Atlantic and Mediterranean. One of Morocco's biggest success stories is automotive. The country has become a major hub, hosting plants for Renault and Peugeot. This is supported by world-class infrastructure, including Tanger Med Port, one of the largest in Africa and the Mediterranean, and Africa's first high-speed train line. Morocco is also a global leader in renewable energy. The Noor Ouarzazate solar complex is one of the largest concentrated solar power plants in the world. Combined with thriving tourism and strong agriculture, you have a powerful, modern, and forward-looking economy. Our number 4 spot takes us to the largest country in Africa, Algeria. The story of Algeria's economy is immense hydrocarbon wealth. The country is a titan in oil, particularly natural gas. It's a leading global exporter with vast reserves crucial for energy supplies to Europe. This hydrocarbon sector provides the lion's share of government revenue, funding public services and infrastructure. The government aims to diversify into manufacturing, agriculture in coastal regions, and tourism leveraging its beautiful Mediterranean coastline. We've reached the podium. Taking the bronze medal at number 3 is Egypt. As one of the cradles of civilization, Egypt stands as one of the continent's most powerful and diversified economies. Its population of over 100 million provides a huge domestic market and labor force. The Suez Canal is critical, connecting Mediterranean and Red Seas, generating billions in transit fees. It's like a giant cash register for the country. Tourism around the pyramids, Luxor temples, and Tutankhamun treasures is making a strong comeback. Discovery of huge Mediterranean gas fields like Zohr have provided new growth impetus. With massive infrastructure projects, growing manufacturing, and resilient Nile Delta agriculture, Egypt is a true continental heavyweight. Taking the silver medal at number 2 is my home country, South Africa. For a long time, the undisputed economic giant, it remains an absolute powerhouse, boasting the most industrialized, technologically advanced, and diversified economy in Africa. The Johannesburg Stock Exchange is by far the largest on the continent, acting as a financial gateway for international investment. Strong foundations in mining, historically famous for gold and diamonds, but also a world leader in platinum and chromium. However, South Africa faces significant challenges, including high unemployment, severe inequality, and persistent energy crisis with rolling blackouts that hamper activity. Despite these hurdles, its sheer scale and sophistication keep it firmly in the top 2. And here we are at the number 1 spot. The richest country in Africa is Nigeria. This reflects sheer scale. With over 220 million people, roughly 1 in every 6 Africans is Nigerian. Nigeria's wealth has been built on oil. As one of the world's top exporters, crude oil has long been the lifeblood of the economy. But Nigeria is so much more than oil. The country is experiencing a cultural and entrepreneurial explosion. Nollywood is the second largest film industry by volume. Nigerian Afrobeats artists like Burna Boy and Wizkid are global superstars. A booming tech scene in Lagos is attracting huge venture capital, creating innovative startups with global potential. Resource wealth, demographic might, and incredible creative energy makes Nigeria the undisputed giant of Africa. And there you have it, a whirlwind tour of the top 20 richest countries in Africa, from Uganda's agricultural potential to Nigeria's economic and demographic might. The story of wealth in Africa is diverse, complex, and incredibly dynamic. It's a story of resource wealth, innovation, diversification, and the unstoppable energy of over 1 billion people. The continent is rising, and the world is taking notice. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Which country surprised you most? Was there a nation you expected that didn't make the cut? If you enjoyed this deep dive, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Silver Studio. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Until next time, stay curious and thanks for watching.